This conference will now be recorded.
Hello.
What's up, man?
How's it going?
Going well. You look fantastic. Your hair looks good.
Oh, it's this is the quarantine hair going. The barber's closed.
Yeah, I literally got in last Friday, and they closed, and now they're closed. Like they closed after I left, and they're done. So I got like the last haircut in Livingston
That is awesome.
County. So how are you?
I'm sorry, you were just breaking up. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna try to. I got some things that might be taking up some bandwidth. Let me close them real quick.
Okay.
Let me close my email.
No worries.
And there. How's that?
I can hear you good now.
Okay, cool.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
Sweet.
I said that I got a haircut on Friday, and they closed right after I left. So I got like the last haircut in Livingston County. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's good because I mean, yeah, my fade is just going. It's just disappearing. It's just gone. So that's too funny.
Yourself.
So what you been up to?
Oh, lots of meetings, but good meetings.
I hear that. That's awesome. That's so cool.
I need to know from you.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite part about quarantine?
My favorite part about quarantine, I get to hang out with my wife a lot more than I usually do. That is definitely my favorite part, is quality time with my wife. But the best part has been we got a Nintendo Switch in the beginning of the month before they all sold out. And so we've been switching a lot as a fam. And actually, my brother-in-law just moved in. So we've got 4 people. So it's like the perfect amount for playing Mario Kart, Mario Party. We've been just jamming out and almost created like civil wars in our house over it. But it's been fantastic.
These things are so much fun. Do you have these?
Oh, for the Mario Kart?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
I don't have those. I don't. I know that you can switch. You can change the settings to for the controller to do all the steering and stuff. But I'm probably have to try that one.
It's fun because people are holding them and they still have to press the buttons, but it's a little bit more awkward because anyway, it's just fun to watch. I like videos of kids doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's super cool. What's been your favorite part of quarantine?
Talking to you.
Oh, well played, sir. That is well done.
Honestly, I've been able to connect to people. Like so many people are available now.
Yeah, that's true.
And granted, raising a budget is what I'm doing, so it's really kind of shut that down. But I've been able to do some things that I think are adding value in a big scale that I wouldn't have been able to do if I were still having to raise my budget and had to travel and all that sort of stuff. So I don't know, it's been nice.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I love that. That's super cool. So cool. So fill me in a little bit. What are you looking to get out of me today?
Well, you had said something that you were doing the other day.
Yeah.
I want to know kind of what you're doing, how youth ministry. It sounded so cool. I wanted to hear like fully explained, but how youth ministry at home, how it's going, and maybe some difficulties, but also some huge wins. And and then I'll ask the question afterwards. I'll let you explain all that. But then my biggest question is, what are you doing now that you want to still be doing when it's over?
For sure. No, that's so funny. I was just talking with my wife the other night. I was like, I wonder how much of this stuff we'll like keep doing after this. Like we've started really good habits that maybe are good things to consider moving forward. That's a really good question. So really, I mean, just the breakdown for what we've kind of been doing I had to really wrestle with figuring out what do we do, who are we as a youth ministry, and how do we keep that going? Not allowing like our big vision and like who we are as a group, what kind of things we kind of work off of. I had to allow that to really dictate, the steps we take during this quarantine to figure out what are we going to do that's going to work? How is that going to at least continue some form of stability and something that feels familiar for students? And so we actually, just because of who I am and what kind of works for us and our kind of culture that we have at Remix at Freedom, is we do just we're just super community relationally focused. And so we just love to create space for relationships to happen kind of organically. We love to sit, my wife and I, and figure out who could be best of friends that just don't even know it yet, and figuring out how to build relationships that way. That's just kind of always been kind of our bread and butter. And if there's only one claim to fame I have, it's that's maybe one thing that we're semi good at. So it's like, okay, well, I don't want to change what we do and allow what other people are doing to rob us from what we do, who we are, and what we do well. That's kind of been the difficult thing, is I'm watching some of these incredible youth pastors who are gifted in other areas do things with video, do things with TikTok challenges, do things on these live forums that I'm like, I can't keep up with that. Or I look at some of these ministries that have media departments that are just pumping out incredibly looking content that I could just never keep up with. And so I had to really sit and decide, what do I want to spend my time doing? And does it fit with our vision? Does it fit with who we are? Does it fit with what our students have found to be the thing that is familiar with our ministry? And so that became clear that it was the relational side of it. It was the community side of it. So how do we do that well? We're really fortunate. We use GoToMeeting as a church. We've actually been using it since early on in 2019. We kind of switched to this where we're located in North Metro Detroit. It's just the busyness, the craziness of life, all the things going on. It was really easy for us to hold meetings that way and do conference calls with all of our leaders and kind of plug them a lot of information and hang out with them and create question Q&A type forum stuff. So it was already something our culture was kind of already familiar with. So it was a really easy shift for us to move all of our things that way. So we've been meeting on these go-to meetings with students, just hanging out. We've just been having a good time. We've been playing different silly games. We've been doing like, thank you. Sorry, my family's in here deciding that they can just roam around and have conversations over here. So hopefully it doesn't mess up the audio there.
It's perfect. It's a sign of the time, man.
So there's people everywhere happening in my home. And so, so we've been using GoToMeeting. It's been fantastic. We've been doing these like in-home scavenger hunts. We're going to do like some charades coming up next week. And we just split them up into grades, like Tuesdays, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Wednesdays are 9th and 10th graders. Thursdays, our 11th and 12th graders. We just didn't think a large group online would be super as effective as maybe 20 max, in these little small group conversations. So one of the issues, though, that we've been facing that I think is clear for every youth ministry is the percentage of people that are participating. We've seen a really huge fall off of engagement from service to maybe only like 40 to 60% of students actually engaging when we're doing things in an online format, whether that's a live service or a GoToMeeting. So that's kind of been a huge struggle. I think even personally for me in youth ministry, I was really challenged by that. Of like, well, what does this mean? Are we not doing something that appeals to them or something that they like or something, whatever? And you kind of start to look for new creative ideas. But what I kind of settled into and just kind of what I've embraced is the reality that I think we're engaging our core at this time, that those that are committed, that are going to come if the doors are open, no matter what, those that want to grow, those that want to hear the word, those that want to be a part of the community are the ones we're finding are engaging. And so as opposed to figuring out, I just kind of had to get rid of the idea and the notion that I have to chase down those that aren't getting engaged to the extent that I'm not jeopardizing building into those that are committed and are kind of our core students. So we've been really deeply challenging our core and seeing this as an opportunity to build culture in a way that maybe we weren't able to do on these large gatherings or on a Wednesday night service or just in small group models. But being able to create challenges and speak directly to the leadership of our core students who are engaged and want to grow and want to be challenged. And so that's kind of how we've been embracing and riding out this this crazy quarantine, because I didn't want to be someone who tried to do something different that didn't jive well with who we were and what we did as a student ministry.
Awesome. So, you know, I already mentioned the question to you, but what kind of a win or what wins have you had that you think, hey, we need to keep this going for the future?
Yeah, so a big win has just been engaging students at the right times of the day. And we found that a lot of times families in their home are having kids waking up, maybe just eating breakfast, then doing their homework, getting things done, then having lunch, maybe even having some chores or some things around the house to do thereafter. But we've kind of found this window between like 2 and 4 really doesn't have a lot going on. And if there's ever a breaking point in the day for these students, we found that that's kind of been it, of like I'm going to lose my mind, things are going crazy. I feel like once you pump them full of food and after dinner and there's maybe some freedom to play some video games or hang out, or family time kind of is reinstilled because mom and dad aren't sitting at the dining room table working. They're able to hang out and play games or do stuff. But so we've just really done a lot to figure out where are those windows, where are those gaps, and how can we fill that time with something useful, something engaging, something intentional for students, which hopefully is helping the home. I mean, that's really been a huge thing for us, is how do we win in the home? How do we win with parents? And how do we not take up time, even trying to resist the urge to do a lot of evening things? We found that families are really trying to plan evening things. If the families are wanting to plan time to do stuff during quarantine, it's going to be during those moments. So I think for us in our ministry, I just love the idea of just online engagements. Even we're going to be jumping on live today. I'm grabbing like a couple of my my worship leaders, their siblings, and so we're just going to jump on and do like an Instagram live share, and we're just going to just sing to the Lord and thank him for all of his goodness and celebrate him. And it seems like so crazy because that would have been something so foreign to do before this. But I'm hopeful that things like that are something that we want more of, that the thought of like, man, I really enjoyed that. I think maybe there's some of those things that people will be like more inclined to participate in and be encouraged by and get excited about, to just say, let's just exalt God. And even just in your home, in your bedroom, wherever you're at on your phone, Instagram Live, let's just allow our hearts to be worshipful and mindful of God and what he's doing, his omnipresence and his ability to see through every situation. Let's take time to do that. I hope those are habits and things that we can do moving forward, because I mean, there's a couple things. I mean, as a youth pastor, I get stoked at the thought of my young worship leaders growing in this platform and using these technologies to enhance their gifts and their confidence and their ability to trust God in moments and share and uniquely use their gifts. But then also I think of it for these students to be intentionally thinking about the things of God at times they usually don't. And I think that's been one of the huge wins, is we're hitting this. Youth ministries across the world right now are trying to figure out, how do we engage people with the Lord in times they usually aren't? And I hope that continues when they're at schools, or when they're getting off their buses, or when they're laying in bed at night. I found myself posting at 11, 12 at night, which I never would have done before on a weeknight, but I am now, because I know kids are scrolling. I know kids are looking for content. And how do we give them the content that is truth-filled and that can bring them back to reflecting on God and his goodness during this time?
That's huge. One of the things I've been thinking is, when this is all over, I really want people to miss some of these times of engagement. Sorry, Peter Reeves is calling me. 1 second.
Hey, tell him that I said hey.
Well, let's just say hello. Hey, man. Not much. Say hello.
What's up?
Say hello to Alex Kirksey. Did you hear him? He said, "Love you, bro." Let me see.
I love you too, Peter.
You turned up.
Miss you, bro.
Sweet. Yeah. Jason, just let me know, man.
Okay, I'll
Get back to me.
I'll send you it as soon as Alex and I are done. I'm gonna run up and talk to my. There's an earthquake above me, but because then after that I'll come back down and we'll do the go-to meeting. Is that good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Thanks, bro. Love you, man.
Hey, love you too, man.
Bye.
Bye. Love you, bro.
So I hope that students are sitting here going, man, I miss that. You know what I mean? I miss some of the things we did, because that means that that throughout the day now they're going to be missing that presence of the Holy Spirit kind of in the way that they had it.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
man,
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you for sharing. I'm trying to keep these at a length that YouTube lets me put them up. You're okay with me putting this on YouTube, right? And then sharing it? Okay, cool. Because I want to share these two. I just want to encourage people who are trying to engage. So
Yeah. Well, no, listen, if there's one other thing that like I just would love to share, if this is being blasted to youth pastors, I had to really kind of work through this in my own personal prayer closet, and with the Lord, is trusting, that we're the person that God appointed at this time for these students. And this season, this moment, this time in life did not catch God off guard. You're exactly where you're at, and you're ministering to the people God has called you to. And don't allow yourself to get discouraged because you don't have the gifts that you see other people doing and having. I've been on conversations with youth pastors all week who are asking questions about how we did this or how we did that, or wanting to do this or do that. And I think there's a good, healthy balance that needs to be found as to allowing other people to influence us, but not allowing it to the point where we're changing what we're supposed to do. And that's where I just want, and I hope to encourage youth pastors, to trust that the way that you've done ministry, the vision God has given you, there's still the ability to accomplish that, even if your setting has changed, your context has changed. I was really struggling with the idea of how do we build community and relationships when we can't be in community and relationships, and It's caused us to think outside of the box immensely. But I truthfully think, as I'm just getting feedback from students, from parents, we were doing this silly in-home scavenger hunt yesterday, and kids are, it was the first person to hold a handstand for 5 seconds, and kids are falling all over the place, and we're just laughing hysterically watching kids try to do handstands. Or it was get somebody else in your house to do the whoa, and the first one kind of gets a point, and they're like running through their houses, and it was just like, it was exciting, it was fun, and it was engaging, and it felt like we were actually all together, even though we're all sitting on the other side of a desktop. And there are avenues and means to accomplish the visions that God has given you to accomplish those things, but trust who God is for you, and don't let yourself wander into trying to reproduce what someone else is doing, because that's for them and their setting and their students, and that's a part of their culture. Maintain who you guys are, and let the Holy Spirit give you the wisdom to accomplish what He's already asked you to do, because that's what the Lord is willing and desires to do. So,
man, that's awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So I know it's going to minister to someone else too. So
cool. Yeah, no, that's what I feel like that's the thing that the Lord has kind of given me as truth in this season is, it'd be easy, to look at what other people are doing. And I'm a total open book. I love to share everything we're doing, and hope, I would love it if anyone stole anything. It's like, if this works, use it, take it, it's all yours. But at the same time, we, as the shepherds, as the people God has called, have to know exactly what we're supposed to do to reach the people He's called us to reach. And I think gathering as much information is good, but figuring out who are we still, and accomplishing it that way is important.
Bro, thank you so much. I love you, and I'm praying for you.
Yeah, man. I love you too, bro. I'm so grateful for Youth Alive, your guys' commitment to us as youth pastors, and to students in Michigan. Student ministries in Michigan are better because of you guys, and I'm grateful for all that you guys do, 100%. So I love you, man.
Love you too. We'll talk to you later, man.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, bye-bye.